Hello, welcome back to Wonderful Force, the Star Wars podcast. I'm Phil, of course, I'm joined as usual by Dave, and not absent George, because he's here, and we moved it specifically so he could be here.
Yes, the Avengers came out. That's all I'm going to say about the Avengers film. So we moved it to today, but ironically, moving it today is maybe the best thing because we don't have breaking news, but we have maybe the biggest news piece.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's not entirely like breaking news now. There's breaking news today that is. Yeah,
that we would have had to wait 13 days to have spoke about.
Yeah, or done a random special, which we could have done, but still, no. Happy it came on today. So yeah, we will get to that, but we'll go through our news. We've got quite a bit of news to get through. It's not a long show tonight, but in terms of news, we might have a big discussion on said breaking news. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we might as well crack on with do it first. So if you haven't seen already, Star Wars Resistance has been announced. Now, this is something that we picked up on, 2-3 months ago, the actual copywriting trademark had gone through. And we did, at that particular point, if you go back 4 episodes, discuss the possibility of it being the next animated show. And even after Rebels has ended on our Rebels recap, we kind of hypothesized that could be the next move. And today it has been announced. Now, it's confirmed to be set between 6 and 7. You have Oscar Isaac and Gwendolyn Christie coming back, reprising their role as Poe Dameron and Captain Phasma appropriately. And yeah, I'm going to leave these guys to have a little bit more chat through it, but it's something that's quite cool.
Yeah, so this came out of nowhere, and we knew Resistance was trademarked, and we thought game. We all thought animated show, and today they've proven us right. And they just casually dropped out of nowhere, you know. It's not May the 4th. I think when you guys said that before we hit record. It's not May the 4th, could expect it then. And not to talk about Avengers, but no one's on the internet today because there are spoilers everywhere. So I know someone that didn't find out, so I messaged him to say, they've literally just announced this. Because I saw it scrolling through Twitter, because I'm allowed to scroll through Twitter today.
Yeah, I did drop it to a few people I know who don't want to be on the internet for Avengers spoilers. This is a thing.
And I think the big thing with this is that it's coming out this fall. We all assumed that the next animated show would debut on the new Netflix channel, maybe one of the first bits of content, but for them just to come out and say, this is coming in the fall of this year, you know, they've got everything. I mean, they've probably been working this for a good year or two already. But the fact that everything's sort of planned now.
It just seems like I was saying just before we came on air that it seemed really bizarre that they had the Star Wars show yesterday and we got none of this. This seems perfectly time for them to announce, and then the day after, like 24 hours after the Star Wars show's aired, it's just like, there we go, this is coming out, and it's coming out soon, and this is our new series. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think with this new series, it's the first bit of content. Well, take out Battlefront because that's basically episode 6. This will be the first proper bit of content in terms of visual, set between 6 and 7. That's going to debut some more of the First Order.
It's the first either TV or film section, because we have the Poe Dameron comics, we have had books and things, so this is the first visual medium to fill in that gap. And it was something I did theorize that it dropping today will most likely mean we'll get a trailer, either 30-second teaser, like you knocked there, George, 30-second teaser on May the 4th.
It would be.
I could see
cool
that
to
still.
get that, yeah. I think it would be very cool to get. It's obviously what they have announced is, and if you see the picture, it's on our Facebook site, it's on our Twitter, it's on our Instagram. It gives us a general look at the style of this thing. It's certainly moved away from. It looks like it's going to move away from the 3D animation we're used to with Clone Wars and Rebels. And what they have actually said in the release is that it's more of an anime. It's in essence an anime style. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess we'll have to wait to see what the trailer looks like.
And I reckon I've seen a few comments. I did look on the YouTube announcement for it, just scrolling through YouTube, and there's been a lot of negativity surrounding the announcement purely because of the style, some just because they didn't want to see that. I don't get the hate surrounding it. It's one of those things, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it.
My issue with this, I mean, we need a trailer to see, so this is just, I don't want to be that guy, but I have a serial disliking to anime. I know this is me, and I know people like that, that's fine with me, don't get me wrong, I respect that, but I cannot stand it. I think it's very, very cheap, And I think my issue is that we've just had Clone Wars, one of the best Star Wars content ever done. That was one of the most expensive cartoons ever made. Followed up with Rebels, where the animation was improving upon year after year.
Especially on Series 4, it was incredible.
Yeah, it was almost perfect. And with this, I think, I mean, if you look at the shorts they've done, right, for the kids, them 2-minute shorts.
The Force of Destiny series,
yeah, we know they're cheap, and the 2D gives that cheap effect. Now, this might not be like that. However, this could be. 2D animation is outdated now. And the issue with it, it's so much cheaper to do. To me, this would be a step back for Disney, and it would feel like more of a, this. I mean, if you look at that picture, okay, it's a picture. It's all bright, colory, and everything seems happy, which is fine. But you could take out the word Star Wars Resistance, put Force of Destiny, and it would look like a poster for that. And my fear is that, okay, this could be quality, but the style they're going for, I really think they need to utilize doing a 3D animation. They've found their strengths with that, and I think 2D is genuinely a step back in this day and age.
It's one of those things that a trailer will help. Now, I know we don't have Star Wars Celebration this year, so we can't put it pinpointed there. I mean, next year we'll probably have a Season 2 announcement next, but I do reckon May the 4th will get a 30-second teaser for it. I mean, it's a strange one, I have to admit, also because it's so close to Solo being released. You really think they'd be on that hype train more, and we'll get to that more in essence soon. But the other thing is that they have also announced the casting. So you do have actually also talk about the actual announcement in general. So I'll read out from the official StarWars.com announcement. So this fall, welcome to the Resistance. It's something because we're new. StarWars.com is thrilled to announce the production has begun. Star Wars Resistance, an exciting new animated adventure series about Kazadua Jono. Now, I know I'm going to butcher that pronunciation, and it does tie into the anime feel, along with Rose Tico and her sister Paige. It could be along those lines, we get to see, of course. Anyway, a young pilot recruited by the Resistance and tasked with a top-secret mission to spy on the growing threat of the First Order. It will premiere this fall on Disney Channel in the US, and thereafter on Disney XD around the world. Featuring high-flying adventure that audiences of all ages have come to expect from Star Wars Resistance, set in the time prior to The Force Awakens. It will feature the beloved droid BB-8 alongside ace pilots, call for new characters, appearances by fan favourites including Poe Dameron and not fan favourite Captain Phasma. That's just me. Voiced by actors Oscar Isaac and Grimsden Christie, respectively. Now, that's their kind of brief look at it, and of course the casting announcement as well. So in addition to Isaac and Christie, the voice cast includes Christopher Sean, who's in Days of Our Lives, Susan McGrath, EastEnders. I'm not too thrilled about that one, but hey, we'll see. Scott Lawrence, Legion. Mirna Valicio, which is Alina of Avalor. I don't know that one myself. Josh Brenner, Silicon Valley. Donald Faison from Scrubs. I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am for that. Bobby Moynihan from DuckTales. Jim Rash from Community, and Rachel Batura from Timmy's Tiny Tea Time. Or Tammy's Tiny Tea Time. That's a mouthful and a half. You try to say that one. But yes, Donald Faison, of course, appeared as Gary the Stormtrooper in the Robot Chicken Star Wars spoof, so I'm happy to see him come over to Star Wars canon.
It's a casting announcement. I mean, obviously there's a lot of cast behind it, and it's cool that Donald Faison, he was at the showing of the last episode of Rebels.
Yes,
and he was talking. He popped up with a question in that, but the main points there were getting actual Oscar Isaacs and Gwendolyn Christie. Obviously, Oscar Isaac is probably going to be very much guest star in a few episodes, probably either end of the series, and maybe a little, like just a spot here or there. Gwendolyn Christie, I'm sure they're now going to be like, look, honestly, we will give Phasma something to do. I promise you we will. But it's not going to be the live action. It's going to be in a cartoon. And maybe it's, well, look, we're really sorry, but look, you can be in this. That's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to the story of between Jedi and The Force Awakens. I think it's going to be very interesting. It's very much like George was saying, the style is going to be the selling point, and if it plays well in the trailer, we're going to see. Now the announcements here, the trailer is coming. It's going to be very important how that plays to people and what we get to see in that trailer as to whether that's going to catch on to people. Like George, there's a lot of people who will love the style that it's in. There are a lot of fans of anime, and they want that. They love that style, and will elevate towards that, and it will by all means, the other side that will put some people off as well because they just don't enjoy that. Like George says, I think having 2 series that we've had in this 3D animated style,
phenomenal job they've done with it as well.
Yeah, Clone Wars, and obviously is very more angular, but the styles are very much the same. You can see they're in the same universe of things, so it's going to be a very different, very jarring getting that new style in a new animated show. But I thought we might have just kept on with the same sort of style, but we wait and see. I mean, we've got to get this trailer out first before we can actually make any judgments. That picture doesn't give much away at all.
Nothing away in 7. The only thing gives away is that's no external Z95 that I've ever seen. So already they've got something new in there. It could be the T80, I suppose. There's lots of it. It's something that, yes, the trailer will sell it for some or confirm fears for others. However, it's, as I said, you don't have to watch it. It's there if you want to. It's like the books and the comics. It's all there. If you want to dive into it more, you can do. And it's something that, of course, we will be watching with earnest and seeing what it's like. I, for one, am excited to see more of the First Order side of things in terms of how they came to be, how, by the time we got to Force Awakens, how they had something as strong, if not stronger than the Empire, just turn up on their doorstep.
I don't think we're going to get... I think we'll get some Forced Order, but I don't think we're going to get... You know, when you watch Clone Wars, you get that... I mean, we haven't seen trailers, so this is all, you know...
this is all just kind of spouting.
But based off how sort of Rebels went along, the viewpoint is very much from that hero side. And like all TV shows, the very first season, you have to establish your protagonists, not your antagonists.
Yeah.
So I could easily see it being similar to Rebels in the sense of the different viewpoints of the characters and introducing everyone. But I mean, if someone turned around and said, we're going to put Snoke in an animated series... I would really struggle to comprehend that. I think there's stories to tell of the First Order, but they'll be seen more as a looming threat. And if this is successful and down the line they do more things with it, then of course I think they'll naturally, not necessarily bring Snoke in, but delve more into the sort of dark side.
I do agree with what you're saying there completely. I don't think we'll see everything with the First Order, but it'd be good to see more of how they became that threat. Because you'll see it as it's a spy, so you'll see they'll bring back information, you'll get pieces we can put together. Also, it's going to be interesting to see what characters come back. Don't forget we have Ezra and Sabine and Ahsoka. They're still floating around the galaxy. Thrawn still floating around the galaxy. There's a lot that they can bring in. And it's something that I'm very excited to see. I mean, the style, it will be controversial, and that there is no two ways about it. It will be. But I'm excited.
If every episode does not start with Hux giving one of his speeches from The Force Awakens, then I'm not watching.
You do wonder, though, if we'll also see Hondo back. You never know.
He really should make it this long. Not 3 years.
He should be.
I think with this, it is good news. It's good news that they're fast-tracking. I mean, we kind of said ourselves that there's going to be a big gap between Solo and Episode 9, but now we have something in that gap. Because there is no video game on the horizon. There is comics and there is books, and we've had that established for years. But that 1.5-year gap, now there's something in the middle. And obviously, the details are so minute. We don't know if this is a 12-series run, a 12-episode run, a 22-episode run. But debuting Disney XD in the fall, you've got to assume it's going to be like Rebels. And I'm intrigued to see what they're doing. I do think Comic-Con, as in San Diego, I reckon that they'll do the first 2 episodes. Because they did that originally for Rebels as well. Rebels was shown at San Diego in 2015.
But did they not show it at Celebration first that year?
I don't think there was Celebration that year. When did Rebels debut? 2014?
2015, I think. 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 15.
No,
I remember from Anaheim from the stream. Which was in the April.
No, it would have been 2014 because it started in 14, started in 15, started in 16, 17. Yeah. So I remember San Diego had that, and then obviously Celebration was the next year, and then we got the lucky one of 3 celebrations in a row.
Yeah.
But I think they'll debut it because there's no immediate plans for a celebration. They decided to not do any of that. Yet they've had more news than they've probably actually done at the last 2 celebrations.
Yeah.
That is the biggest news point, and I'm sure that come May the 4th, guarantee there'll be a trailer for it.
If not, there'll at least be either posters or artwork of characters. There will be some form of news on this on May the 4th. And we will bring you all that news.
Yeah, but I was going to say, like Phil just said, we'll give you all that news. Keep your eyes peeled. I say if anything poster-wise shows up, it'll be on our Facebook, it'll be on our Instagram. It will be up as soon as we kind of get wind of this news. We'll try and keep it as up to date as possible. But yeah, so I mean, overall, it's new Star Wars. Let's look forward to it and let's give it a chance, see what it's like, and then we'll break it all down.
And
Indeed,
speaking of giving new chances, oh sorry, this was
no. That's
I was going to be on the segue just to say, go for one controversial thing for another.
Speaking of giving chances, everyone's favourite Han Solo, Alden Ehrenreich, he it's come out this week. He said in an interview that he's got a three picture deal in his contract, and this isn't sad. What's sad is that everyone assumes it's going to be a solo trilogy. The basic principles of a contract in the modern era, basically post Avengers, is that when there's a film being made, they put people on multiple picture deals, so that if they're needed to come in another film or to run and do some TV work, they're in there to do it. So, for example, look at Rogue One. There was originally, before we knew what it was going to be, there was a rumor, right, that they might do a sequel. They might keep Jyn alive. But that didn't happen. But Felicity Jones has come back. She's done a celebration. She's done animated stuff. I've got a feeling that it's just a bog standard contract that they give out. It's what happened with Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel.
The other thing is, though, don't forget we have the live action TV show next year.
Yeah, precisely. And I think for people to assume that, yes, they might do 3 films of him. I doubt it, but it's just for continuity for a franchise. It's safeguarding your property. If you look at Marvel, they had the big mess up with Terrence Howard, who was the original War Machine. They had him on a 1-picture deal. And what happened with him is that he wanted more money, so they turned around and said, no. Income's Don Cheadle put him on a 5-6 picture contract. And that's what they do to everyone. And it would have been the same with everybody that signs up for these Star Wars films now. People are on multiple contracts. And I think this is far more of a news story than it needed to be. And I think it's because people have got the guns out for him that suddenly it's a bad deal that he's got a multiple picture contract.
Yeah, it would have seemed bizarre from the space that we're getting him in time frame wise now to then fit 2 of the films in around the same time frame before New Hope. Just seems crazy. But I think you're absolutely right that it's get these actors tied in. If we want to do a voice on anything, that they're in a contract where it's binding. They've got to do. Oscar Isaac's doing a Saturday afternoon cartoon. You can't tell me that wasn't in the contract in his writing that if we want to do a voice on something that we have an option to give you to do this. But it's a big contract. But you're right. I think now with everything as a franchise, it's no longer a one film and you're out deal, and people want to be tied. They want people tied down so they can't go off and after one film or demand more money. It's all signed in, so you know what they're getting. Well, that's what they're getting paid, and it just makes logical sense that is what this contract is, and if he's required, he'll be brought in for something.
Definitely, and I think it's the smartest way of doing it nowadays too.
Aye, but again, considering the theme of Solo, we've had the UK and character posters revealed. Now, I sent this to you guys as soon as I saw it. I think they look fantastic.
I really like the original. What's been weird is their entire marketing campaign's been these kind of cartoonish images of the characters. And to get the live action poster, you kind of didn't expect it. But I don't know where I feel with it, because they put Lando clearly at the forefront, like at the forefront of the forefront. And it's a nice image, but it's so inconsistent with the Solo posters. I didn't really care for it at all. It just looked like the bog standard blockbuster Photoshop image that they're going to release. I much prefer the cartoon ones, which felt unique to the film.
That main post that we talked about last time, I think, with the background of the cockpit of the Falcon in it, is still by far my favorite post that's come out. But I'm enjoying more and more the artwork that's coming out for this movie. After that original take with the background with the names in the big letters and then just coming through the letters. After that, the artwork's got better and better, I think, for this film, and it's all kind of coming in line that as we go along the timeline, everything looks better for this film as it's been getting closer to release day. It's from not being very excited. Yes,
for those on YouTube, there's a nice reflection there. For those I haven't seen, here is those watching the poster all ready for the London premiere. I think this film's going from strength to strength in a degree that there were such low expectations, and now the expectations they're still quite low, but it's doing itself a very good PR job in the lead up to the film now.
Definitely.
They are improving as they're going along. It is something that you can still see they're taking care of it, but at least we're getting more and more.
Yeah, and that's mainly what we're going to be looking for. It's we're less than 30 days out now as we sit here, till we see this movie.
In fact,
Is it 4 weeks?
We had the
less than 3 weeks. Yeah,
it's our original title for this episode. It was even a solo-based title. We changed it at the last minute due to the breaking news of Resistance. The flip side though of that is the inevitable multiple TV spots. And I said this to you guys Monday, I think it was, or Tuesday, for a note today that they have already done 8 TV spots. Now, yes, it's not there with the 20 they did for Last Jedi.
There are 3 weeks yet.
This is true. They'll pump out another 10 just before we finish making this podcast, I guarantee it. But yeah, so there will be more to come. The only thing is, though, the difference between The Last Jedi and Solo is that I was not as invested up front with this film as I was The Last Jedi. None of us are hidden that. It's all been something that we've been a little skeptical of, even as coming round to it. And the one thing I've been watching, I haven't watched all of these. I think I watched about 6 out of the 8, purely because I'm getting my hopes up slowly but surely. But it's the actual soundtrack that's drawing me to them. The soundtrack is something that we haven't really talked about, but it sounds phenomenal so far. Sorry, George. Yeah.
I think with the soundtracks, the issue is that it's not the composer very rarely does the soundtrack that goes into the TV spots and the trailers and whatnot. They usually hire companies for them.
Yeah.
However, we still are awaiting a John Williams theme, which I'm sure they'll probably release on YouTube a week before the film comes out. They do it for a lot of blockbusters now, where they release a theme as a preview almost. So I'm intrigued to see what they do.
I don't know if they will. I think they might leave it on this one because it's a Williams special. As we have discussed before, he's not doing the whole soundtrack. He's literally just doing the theme.
True, but that's what I meant. Like, if they're going to release something like Ready Player One, they dropped the Oasis theme like just before the film came out. So it'd be very interesting to see how everyone's going to be doing it.
I haven't caught that yet. I do want to watch Ready Player One. I haven't got around to it yet. I'm hoping to catch it before it finishes its cinema run, I must admit.
It's good. It's a Spielberg film. There is a Star Wars reference in there.
I like Spielberg films, so I'm more than happy to catch that. But yeah, so we've had 8 now. I think is the total we've got, so maybe 9. I can't remember. I think it was 8. There is a lot. And again, something we've also discussed is the ticket sales. Rumored is May the 4th, and considering that is 20 days prior to the release, it makes the most sense. You know, it's Star Wars Day. It's something that will be trending on social media, both on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All the usual gumph. Even YouTube now, where you can post pictures for some random reason. Facebook was becoming YouTube now. YouTube's going Facebook. It's a weird thing. But yeah, so with everything that we on that day, all the trending, with probably the Resistance trailer, it makes sense that the tickets will be released that day. It's 20 days prior. It's close enough. Yet, I think it's the perfect date.
Yeah, they need to release them. It's a pre-sale. There's no point doing it before the Avengers comes out because that's the one in the headlines. So it's definitely the right time to do it. They did it for Rogue One. Yes, Episode 7 and 8 came out 2 months before. Rogue One was literally a month before. And if they're going back to this May release date window, then utilize May the 4th. Last year it was the 40th anniversary. May the 4th, so much stuff happened. And I've got a feeling they've gone quiet this year because the film's due out. But you never know if Star Wars, they might just drop some big announcements left, right, or centre. Yeah,
we'll talk about May the 4th next time we're on here, but because at that point it would have been and gone. Well, actually, I'll tell you what, before we go on to our next news story, because this is just wrapping that. For May the 4th, I reckon we will see trailer for Resistance, announcement of the title of the TV show, and the live-action TV show, and tickets for Solo. I think that's the big 3 things we'll get.
I don't think we'll get TV stuff yet because Jon Favreau is still working on Lion King. He's deep into post-production now. But I can see an announcement of some kind. Maybe a slight more details in Episode 9. We know they're filming soon. Are they doing casting at this stage? Who knows? But there's still something they can do. And it's going to be interesting to see what Disney's plan is. Because we're going to get the usual merch will come on sale. This will go on there. But I've got a feeling that this year I really hope it's not like a solo clip. But I wouldn't be surprised if they orientate something around that.
I think we'll definitely get something solo-wise. I think we'll get at least another teaser of some kind of maybe a TV spot, a longer TV spot. I think you're right, absolutely. The ticket sales, the film's getting closer and closer. I know a lot of people are already kind of waiting for the release of those to come out. So I do think May the 4th is a perfect opportunity for them to release the tickets for people to go out and get and have them ready for their showings of. Probably, I'm guessing there'll be a midnight showing this movie as well. Obviously, they're not going to release it any earlier because there's certainly not going to be the demand of the other films we've had so far. I think there'll still be high demand, but nowhere near the anticipation of this film.
They've done
and
the
others,
standard, wait for it, and then the UK get it a day before. That's what was done.
I mean, they film it here. They owe us.
It tends to be that's the pattern of all the big films now. We get them sort of Wednesday night, midnight into Thursday, and they're out the next day in the States. But yeah, so I think May the 4th. I don't know what else it'll bring. I know there's a couple of.
I'll tell you what, though. Here's the question, though, guys. Would you rather have the film a day early or the DVD 2 weeks late, or the other way around?
For Solo, I don't care. For the episode films, a day early, please.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm absolutely with you.
Let's be honest, guys. They made England wait 6 weeks to get the Phantom Menace, right? In cinemas.
Yeah.
So, in all honesty, if they really want to make an impact on episode 9, then they're more than welcome to drop it 6 weeks early over here.
Oh, I don't think the rest of the world would like that very much. But yeah, and then again, talk about Solo though. We might as well finish it up. The actual film news with the fact that Ron Howard has revealed himself that Solo has wrapped post-production, cutting it quite fine. I mean, actually, I say that as a joke because a lot of people don't realise how close they always work back from the release date and go, well, this is the release date, this is the midnight, this is when post-production has to be finished, this is when production has to be finished. They work back from it, so they would have had this date in the diary for God knows, at least 2 years now. So it's not unsurprising it's being finished now, but at least we now know it's done, it's dusted, it's handed in, and Ron Howard can just begin to crack himself.
Yeah, that's probably a wise way to do it. And also with Solo, some very odd news. If you live in America, they're building the Millennium Falcon cockpit and they're taking it to 4 locations for you to sit in. It is the Lando cockpit, but it doesn't come with Donald Glover, I'm afraid. So we're going to have to wait a bit longer for that. What I didn't
Billy D?
I wish. What I didn't say is that yesterday at the IMAX, they had the gigantic cardboard cutout of the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, cool.
And I didn't get a picture in it because it was the area was round, but it looked so cool. Like you could actually sit on it. But
did they have a Solo trailer before Infinity War?
Yes, they did. It was guaranteed to be attached to that. It's Disney with Disney, so it was kind of cool seeing that. But the reactions of people talking around me, some people said that they couldn't care less. There was this almost murmur. And it's going to be very interesting to see how the general public and non-Star Wars fans react to Solo when it does come out.
So that was a non-Star Wars audience. That's the thing.
Yes, and that's the thing. And the non-Star Wars audiences will be the ones that make the most money for the film.
Indeed. I mean, what do they call it in China again? They've called it
isn't it just
Ranger or something, isn't it?
Ranger Solo, isn't it?
Yeah, Ranger Solo.
Along those lines, yeah. It's Han Solo in a few places and Ranger Solo.
They should have just called it Han Solo. I mean, did they want the Solo just for their poster design? I genuinely think that's all it was.
Thank goodness, because
we seem to have lost Dave there.
Hello? Have we lost me or Dave? No, we've lost.
Dave.
We believe we've lost Dave. Dave is frozen. So that was us talking about the Solo giant cardboard cutouts and its Chinese titles and whatnot.
Yeah. I must admit though, I am kind of jealous they've got it over in the States. I wish they had that.
Yeah, I mean,
I would go see it. I would go sit in the cockpit.
Maybe they might do something at MCM London in May. They always do stuff for films coming out around that time. We have a Dave back.
hey, sorry, yeah, the connection I was using died, and now I'm back on this. So if I jump in and out, I do apologize. My internet connection is still not great.
It's all right. Only the video people can tell it. The audio people will be none the wiser unless we tell them that we do. So it's fine. So no, if it was over here in the UK, would you?
So where were we? Sorry, I doubt. Are we still in the cockpit?
Still talking about the actual physical one they built, and they're taking on tour.
Yeah, I think it's. I've seen it. It's like the video they showed you where they're built inside 4 massive crate hangars, and it looks quite cool, but it's that's not my Millennium Falcon. I'd be more excited if it was the original trilogy version or the sequel trilogy version. But this is it looks fine. It's kind of a weird kind of thing to take on tour. It'd be great for some photo ops, but I don't know how it's going to look. you're sitting in the cockpit and you're inside a big crate. I don't know, but it's all good publicity. Any publicity is good publicity, and they're trying to pull as many punters in for this film as they can.
Definitely. And ending with Solo, we have like 2 minute news pieces now. So for episode 9, they're casting crew. The crew's coming back to work at the end of April. They might already be there now. Who knows? Victoria Mahoney has been hired as a second unit director. For those that don't know what that is, second unit director is basically someone that oversees a lot of the production, the filming on set and stuff, and she basically reports, in this case, to JJ. The big news story of this is that this is the first of a female to have any kind of directorial position on the film. And for those that want to sit there, moan and cry that there's a woman directing having something to do with it, the second unit director, basically, that's what they do before they become normal directors. It's just a cool little bit of news that JJ tweeted, as did herself, Victoria, sorry, not Laura, that's my sister's name. So that's going to be quite interesting. Obviously, they'll probably delve into that more in the future, but we've known for a while that Disney are trying to get a female to direct a Star Wars film. At the minute, they are yet to hire one, but maybe in the future they'll find the right person for a project.
Yeah, it's in this times of where the movement is still going on, and as it should, with the equality and things they're looking for more women to be in movies and director positions. And it's nice that Star Wars have made that something that they've done to announce, look, our second AD, our assistant director is here, and she's a woman. And that can only be good for storytelling points. We are certainly in an era of Star Wars where female characters are certainly pushed to the forefront. Jyn and Rey are definitely our main protagonists. Obviously, Solo is a different beast altogether. But yeah, it's always good to...
Especially with the first 2 series of Force of Destiny as well, that was very, very female orientated.
Yeah, it has been.
They should say that's just an observant point. And more female crew members is always welcome. I mean, it's one of those things that, okay, it's a minor piece of news, but it's still a good piece of news.
And then the episode 9 news there is.
Yeah, literally, there's no
news as well. Second minor bit of news.
Yes, so the Avengers out this weekend again. I won't be giving any details away. The opening weekend figures, right? This is why it's not a turn off once, because Star Wars Episode 7 broke almost every record you could get except highest grossing film. And what's happened with this is that Avengers Infinity War, they reckon it may get the record for opening weekend. It can't physically get the worldwide opening weekend because it's not out in China until May. But the record is 248 million for The Force Awakens in 3 days in North America. Avengers is currently predicted to make 230. Black Panther got 30 million more than they thought it would. So basically, at the end of Sunday, everyone will know a figure. I think it's achievable, and in all honesty, if they get it, fair play, because with Episode 7, you thought it's going to get the records. It's the first Star Wars film in 10 years. That's the main reason why they hype everything. Avengers, in the last 10 years, they've had like 18 films. It's not the first in 10 years, but this is the achievement of 10 years. So it's going to be very interesting seeing these juggernauts head-to-head getting records with one another.
It's, from the very start, Avengers is always going to make all the money. It's just what's going to happen. This
year's big thing.
This is a big build-up of the Marvel universe. I know we're not on a Marvel show, but I'm very invested in this movies myself. Seeing them tomorrow, which would be awesome. But yeah, so I can't wait. But it is going to be a shame. I do think it will knock The Force Awakens off top earner. I really do think Avengers is going to take every penny from pretty much everything. It's got such a wide audience and such a built-up audience now over the past decade. But you know what? It's fine. These kind of things on top of the box office, Star Wars, Avengers, we live in good times. To be nerdy people who like this kind of thing, this is a good era.
I mean, imagine thinking 10 years ago, like Marvel films would come head-to-head with Star Wars. They'd be dominating the landscape for years to come. And who'd have thought back then that Disney would own both franchises? At the time, Marvel rights were scattered. Star Wars was done and dusted. So it's more the Disney renaissance, and they're just going to keep building and building and getting richer and richer.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
I agree. I think it might knock it off. I think if not, it'll be damn close.
It's going to get into the 40s whether it gets it.
It won't be. It will be very, very close if it doesn't. But again, it's one of those things that it's mainly because the Force Awakens was the first Star Wars film in 10 years. This is also something that's been building for 10 years, ever since Iron Man came out. And it's something that we've all been waiting for, something that so I've got 20, this is just under 24 hours to wait. Dave, just under 12. George has already seen it. If I'd had the money, trust me, I would have already seen it last night. That's just how things work out. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Either way, though, I do reckon that it will come close, but I reckon it could beat it. I have no gripes with that. But I think that's the end of the news. Anything else?
Other than the announcement that we got today, we were really this could have been a 20-minute show because there wasn't a lot out of there until Resistance got announced this afternoon. But yeah, so we'll move on.
And we have Star-Lord, which we're leaving to Phil, the return of his favourite segment.
Well, yeah, it is my favourite segment. I love the comics. I love the books. I love going into into more depth. In fact, actually, I was reading DJ Most Wanted, the Marvel one-shot, when I found out about the Resistance news. So it's one of those things, yes, I'm quite invested in it. And what we've got is an announcement for Lando. He's getting, again, another miniseries. He's had one already, which was based around the 4, 5, 6 era of the original trilogy, whereas this one is called Double or Nothing. Again, it's another miniseries, probably 4 or 5 parts, max 6, min 4, something like that. And it's based around the Donald Glover pre-Episode 4 era. And yeah, I genuinely can't wait to read that because Lando is something we're more excited for than Solo. We've said this in the past. It's worrying when you're more excited for, well, not the most thing you're worried about most is the main character. It's that kind of thing. But Solo will be good. But I'm looking forward to reading this little Lando miniseries, and it's kind of interesting how they've announced that and not a Solo miniseries.
Well, I think it's because we're getting a Solo film.
This is true.
But I mean, we've had a Solo series already in the comics and stuff, so it's just, I think they've known now that everyone wants more Lando. Going back to that post from earlier, he is at the forefront. He's not small in a corner. He is bigger than Chewie on the poster. He has his area. He is at the forefront. He has been at the forefront of the advertising, the merchandise, everything. They know what people want now, and I think all credit to them for casting Donald Glover and hopefully doing a tremendous job with him in terms of the film.
Indeed. And that's it for Star Wars. The only other thing is we do have Last Shot coming out very soon, which is the Han and Lando novel set just before the Solo film. That comes out next month at some point, I think. And then we also have the Thrawn Alliances book, which is due out in June, because they had pushed the release date back for that. If you pre-order it by Monday night in the States, you will get the book along with a signed plaque from Timothy Zahn, and I'm still working out how I can get my hands on one. We'll see, but yeah, I might be able to, I might not. But either way, yes, that is a US exclusive, but that is Star Wars for this evening. And finally, I have something to talk about in this segment. I do love it. And then we'll go into Toy Shelf, though. George, you know more about this first section more than me, so I'm going to let you take this one.
Yeah, so basically the Solo merch come out, and when they announced it, they did the weird release date. But one thing they said on Star Wars Authentics, the website where you get the autographs, they said there's going to be Solo merchandise coming out. So out of curiosity, everyone goes on to see how much they're going to charge for a Donald Glover autograph. Not that I'd buy it, but I love it. Like, 250 quid for that Jyn Erso. You can never let down, and because it was Topps that picked that price, you wonder how. For those that don't know how Authentics works, a Harrison Ford autograph's over $1,000 on there. A Mark Hamill one's like 600 or something. They have bizarre, horrific prices.
It makes our prices from Celebration a couple of years ago look absolutely.
Yeah, I think they probably make out the frames more expensive than the pen, but they actually had no autographs. It was just have some stills from the film. You can buy them for $20 in a frame because
I think they might wait until after the film's out to gauge.
Yeah, and they're all pictures from the trailer. But why would anybody just want a framed image of anyone but Donald Glover? Yeah. I'm sorry that's me like moaning and stuff, but what's the point? Like, people go on that website to get autographs. I would love to know the sales percentage of people that just buy framed images. They could just Google it, print themselves at home, and there you go, voila. But it has to be Topps, doesn't it, to double the price of what it should be.
It is a crazy thing to bring these out without signatures. It's very much what I know that side of to go out in there and actually get signatures of these things. I've got a couple. I got Christopher Lee from them when he did that, and I got Anthony Daniels from there as well. So I've got a couple of cool ones. They were, to be honest, their prices were much cheaper back when I got Christopher Lee's signature as well. But yes, so it's
yeah. I mean, one of our regular viewers, Robin, who's been on our channel before, he got Christopher Lee's in Nostian for about 20 quid. I think it was about 15 years ago. It is insane to see where prices have gone. I mean, of course, at the moment it's Finn who's our benchmark at $500 odd, but $575. But you did get your tickets to the con included,
and a picture.
And a picture, yes.
But let's just, I mean, it could be worse. It could be 250 quid for Jim.
The only thing that we don't bag on Harrison Ford because it's Harrison Ford. Like, he doesn't do it, therefore we can't wait.
He can command whatever fee he wants because they know as well as everyone else, everyone needs him to complete a collection. Yeah. Take note, Showmasters, that's called completing a collection.
That's called completing a set, yeah.
He's the only one that could charge. Even Mark Hamill would have a limit. I think there was a big criticism when his price went to $250, but there was drama that was tops putting that price because Mark Hamill likes meeting his fans. So because he meets his people, they upped his prices. Dodgy business, but you know, everyone's got their limits except Harrison Ford.
Well, we know that Watto is running Showmasters. Yeah, Jerry Montrose don't welcome him only money. We all know this. We all know this to be true.
And I think that
we've had the sorry, Dave, go on. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Literally, I was about to say the exact same thing. That we also had the rest of the release of the solo merchandise, and it's pretty cool. Most thing that I've been after that came out, we had the Lego, we had the Jax figures. I think we went over this last time. There's been such a massive release of an influx of merchandise, and the one thing everyone wants, the Black Series Lando, is literally the hardest thing to get a hold of at the moment. Yeah. There are probably sites where you can get these things, but yeah, it's out there in the wild. Certainly in the UK, you will not come across much at all. What was supposed to be there? Was it Wookiee Wednesday or Wookiee?
Was it a Wookiee weekend? But they were laughing
yeah.
because a load of the products got released on Friday the 13th, when it's meant to be the 20th. A load come out on the 20th, but loads of retailers apparently have just called it a day, and they're just going to put the website on when they get it in stock.
Yeah,
I think
it's not the same as a saga film.
Well, I think it's also because with Force Friday was so early last year, cost them money. I think retailers aren't in a rush to put them on the shelf and get their orders in.
Yeah.
So it's one of those. I mean, Rogue One, they did a kind of Force Friday, didn't they call it Rogue Friday? But all the merch come out very early for that, and that fizzled and then picked up after release. So you wonder if it will be the same. Personally, I bought a Lando Pop, but that's not to keep. That's open. That's on display, like on my Blu-ray cabinet. No intention of buying anything else other than that. Not even. I mean, I'll be getting the vintage collection.
What your Star Wars Pops?
My Star Wars Pops have gone. As I said, they were going to go. They are now gone. They've moved on to hopefully a better place. But it's end of an era. They have been not replaced by Infinity War Pops, but I did get the first wave of Infinity War Pops just so I've got something Marvel to display. The good thing with only buying them from one select film, no franchise, one select film, is they can only make so many. So I think I'm safe on the long call. There'll be no sort of
no spoilers.
Like there's like 5 variations of a Porg. I don't think you're going to get 5 variations of an Iron Man. Not in this one. Yeah, the pops have gone. It was a fun almost year of doing them. But let's be honest, I'm now going to save a lot more money because they just release a wave. And as soon as the wave comes out, they then put another wave up for pre-order. But the pops have gone, and I think now it's just vintage collection. When they start doing more waves of that, I'm really praying now for a Lando, like Han Solo Lando vintage collection figure. That is genuinely all I want because I really resisted. If I'd have seen a Black Series Lando, I probably would have bought it, but there's none, which is a really good thing.
Yeah, I still get my hands on the first wave of the vintage collection. I will be trying to buy all of them. It just requires work and money. But that's just life in general.
And yeah, I think literally that is us done for Toy Shop as well. There wasn't much of a release for films. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another short one. The Battlefront 2 update came out. The one we all slaughtered. If you want to have a skin of Kylo Ren on his head, you can more than welcome to pay £7. You can have the normal Amask Kylo Ren from episode 7 for free. But if you want that cut, £7. All of that.
Yeah, it's like.
There's bandaged Chewbacca, £7.
Yeah, it's either 40,000 in-game credits, which takes you a little while, or £7 as George says there. That's not the worst part of it.
It is what it is.
Should we move on to the worst part of it all, which was the Ewoks?
Yes, well, so they brought Ewok Hunt, which is basically you do a game of one Ewok, 17 stormtroopers. The 17 stormtroopers have got to survive 5 minutes, and every time an Ewok kills someone, you get another Ewok and one less stormtrooper. It's one of the worst game modes in history because the stormtroopers have got no vision and a flashlight for the horror element. However, if you play as an Ewok, you get perfect vision, and you've actually got a special move which puts an active radar on, so you can just find everyone and kill them. Or if you're a stormtrooper, you all go to the same cave, what everyone else does, and you just murder every Ewok on arrival. It's a terrible game mode. People wait 6 months for that. They have said that in May there will be an update for a new season for episode 8. However, I think the top comment was, if it's a solo season, then we riot. Because all they can do with that is 2 free skins of Lando and Han.
Yeah.
And I think 6 months down the line, that is not putting the content forward.
No, it's one of those things. Also, then the kick when you're down is also the fact that this Ewok mode isn't even permanent; it's temporary. That's the horrible part. It's not the fact it's just a bad game mode because it is flawed. It's a bad game mode that's only temporary. We've waited 6 months, and don't get me wrong, it was a game that George and I were very excited for. I have played it to death. The problem is I have actually played it to death. There is no draw for me. I tried out the Ewok Hunt and I played one game and put it down.
Yeah, it's killing itself now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's failing very badly. It's they're trying to build up anything to this game now. They either need to do a complete rework with the next release and say, look, we've done this. Otherwise, just stop and move on.
I mean, where is the clone trooper customization that we know is hidden there?
Yeah, they said we're bringing in character customizations. Asterisk, except clones. They're going to be on First Order. They're going to be on Rebels. They're going to be on Empire. No clones. Whether this is part of their Rebels. Yeah, this is the only really customization you can do. No one cares what race your Rebel soldier is. They had that in the last game for free. I think EA know they've messed up. I'm very intrigued for Celebration next year when they go and announce Battlefront 3. I just can't wait. You know, you can make the mistake once on Battlefront 1, and they had all the press going right for Battlefront 2 until the loot box. They've got no chance next year. The fans are going to have their back from the second they into that panel. So good luck to them. And I hope you lose your license.
Yeah, it's something they have. And the worst bit is they've had 6 months to rectify it, and they go, we don't know why you hate us. Here, have microtransactions back.
And the other thing they're like, EA do Galaxy of Heroes, and this kind of moves us on. They're announcing characters left, right, center. They've just announced Bosk and a Bounty Hunter update.
Yeah,
they seem to be getting characters out every month.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's a bunch of characters in Galaxy of Heroes that you play against that you can't unlock, which does frustrate me, like the B1 Battle Droid, different types of clones, and now Bosk has been announced, but you can't get him yet. But they are introducing them. For example, over the Christmas period, we had the First Order Executioner, we had the TIE Silencer, we had Episode 8 Kylo Ren, you had Episode 8 Rey, and you've then had Admiral Holdo, you had Rose, a bunch of characters announced which you now can get in game. They're doing a lot better, but I think it's because it's by Capital Games, which is owned by EA, not EA doing it. That's the kicker.
Well, it's more that DICE are doing Battlefront as well, but it's the same. It's under the same banner. It's got EA's blood on it. But yeah, to get
it's
the game.
Sad when they're doing a hell of a lot better job with a mobile game than they are with their flagship game.
Yeah, it's crazy that that's the case.
Although,
but yeah,
speaking of awesome mobile, I'm going to let Dave take this one.
Yeah, so it was released, I think it was last week. I don't know if you've seen the Jedi, I can't remember what its name is, the Jedi Force Battles or by Novo.
It's
anyway.
the AR, it's the VR game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an AR game where you get the lightsaber, you get the helmet, and you can fight lightsaber battles against droids and against different characters, Darth Maul, Vader. But it's augmented reality, so you're not seeing a completely rendered world. You're in your own world and they're coming to you. Personally, myself, just going on this, I can't do virtual reality. My head doesn't work that way. I get very bad motion sickness with virtual reality. Augmented reality works very well because you can see everything. You're still in your world, so your body feels right, and my brain doesn't feel sickness when I'm doing it. But yeah, so that is a cool thing. You can get that with the lightsaber, and it's a great little game. But what they brought out is they brought something out for actual iOS on Apple devices. I think the iOS 10 or 11, which is the Holo Chests. And you can actually play this virtually wherever you are, as long as you can find a flat surface, hold your phone against it, the table comes up, and you can actually move around the table, around close. You're just basically moving your phone around, and it's in your world, wherever you set this table down. And you can play Dejarik. Is that the right name? Dejarik? Is that?
Dejarik, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And you can play the chest that they play in the Millennium Falcon, and that's cool. I don't quite understand the rules, and I just move pieces around, and it's fine. But just for it to come to a mobile phone again, it's taking this away that they're making games that aren't doing very well, that can create these things at mobile devices that are much more entertaining. And at a touch of your hand, you don't have to have a console with you. This isn't a phone. And just maybe the old man in me is like, this isn't a phone. You couldn't do this in a phone. This is amazing. So yeah, I work for a mobile company, and that still amazes me. But yeah, so it's a cool little add-on. If you've got that app for your iOS device, I'd recommend having a go. But yeah, so that's kind of it for the news of all the games and everything that we're doing.
Yeah, we did say it's going to be a short episode tonight. It's we were kind of clutching at straws before we had Resistance, and then that kind of helped us bump up the timing. But we do have a canteen talk this evening. The fact that something. It's annoying that George and I didn't get to meet up, but we both went to Wales Comic Con at the weekend. For me, that's a good 3.5 hour trek. Well, 3 hours 40 for me, actually. It's quite a trek.
It was just 2 hours for us.
Yeah. I live right up the south coast, and it's like, yeah.
It was in Wrexham. It was a very hot day. It was roasting. Did you?
Yeah.
Well, for us, we were just more laughing at the people going dressed up. There was a geezer dressed as Batman, like the proper 500 quid Batman
Did
suit.
you see the Witch King?
Yes, and mate, the Witch King can't see their face, so you can't see the failure in their eyes. But the Batman was amazing because he was walking around and he looked like Lego Batman, like when he's sad, like he was literally about to collapse. And there was a Thor, this chunky guy as Thor. We're in the car park, and he was like breathing really heavily and stuff. And then he saw us, and he like posed upright and walked across fine. And when the car drove past, he kind of turned his head and he's like gasping because it was so hot. It was so funny seeing mad respect for everyone dressed up.
I didn't that weekend for that specific reason. It was so
hot.
It
was so hot, and we were all there for technically the same but different reasons. I met a couple of people, but the one I was most interested, actually no, the second most interested in is Greg Grunberg, who is Snap Wexley from The Force Awakens and possibly Episode 9. Who knows? JJ might call him back. So I met him, got him on Episode 7 poster. He was lovely. We had a good chat, a couple of minutes chatting about the films, the X-Wings and filming on set. It was a really good laugh. It was really nice as well. And then he was just chatting about Episode 8 with me, talking about his thoughts, He was talking about Episode 9 as well, the stuff that he might be able to say, the stuff he might not be able to say. And then we spoke about JJ because they've known each other from the age of 4. So, it was really nice, to be fair. It was a nice little convention, but it was so hot, and then we just ended up going early because it was just too hot. I wanted to go home.
Now, I would like to have met Gray. I didn't this time. Hopefully, I will at a future convention. But I met Taylor Gray. So I met the voice of Ezra. I actually met him twice, funny enough. Because I couldn't decide between getting my pilot card signed for X-Wing or my Series 3 Blu-ray for Rebels, and my missus ended up paying for the other half so I could get both, lucky enough. But he was absolutely lovely. We ended up chatting for a good 10-15 minutes just on Star Wars, but also his reaction to the finale with the fans. And yeah, again, he was absolutely lovely. It's one of those things that it was a very small con. I mean, there's only a couple of thousand people there. It wasn't that big, but the guests were phenomenal.
Yeah, he was at his table. It was in it was basically in 2 sports halls.
Yeah.
So you had them scattered around the outside, which was great. So when I was walking around, the queues were managed well and stuff like that. But it was just like
have to queue the second time I met.
Yeah. Everyone I met, I didn't queue, which is great, especially when you had some big names there like Haley Atwell. I did also meet the poster designer from Ready Player One, who did the amazing Star Wars Celebration and Episode 8 poster.
Yeah, we both met
Paul Shipper. Yeah. So he signed my Reg 1 poster. He was really good to chat with. I tried to get some solo news out of him, but he's not working on a poster, I'm afraid. However, he did just do an Infinity War poster, which was literally like released like a couple of days before the con. So he spoke to me about that from what he was allowed to talk about. But he was good. And as I said, you know, your artwork's quality, especially your Star Wars stuff. But it was a nice event.
Yeah, it really was. It was a very small event, a very hot event, but it was a good one. And we both got to meet people. I would love to have met Grunberg as well. Again, money, just kind of put that aside. However, worth it from every angle. And I will be going back in December, and hopefully Grunberg will be there. I mean, I know you're definitely going on the Sunday to May.
I don't know with MCM now. So there's a funny story behind all of this. I was originally going to Wales to meet Ezra, and I had a Rebel Season 3 poster, which was on a very weird fabric silk material. And then basically a company I used where I got that solo poster earlier, they did all my posters, the A3 size ones. I sent them a message, can you just do a custom poster for me? They said, yeah, send us the artwork in like a good pixel rate and we'll do it. So I ordered the Rebels one. I didn't think it would come on time, and it didn't. It actually came the day I was in Wales, so I missed it by 1 day, which I was gutted about. However, so I thought, I'll meet him at MCM. Jim Cummings is there. James, I forgot his name.
James Arnold Taylor.
I always get him mixed up with Bradley Baker.
Yeah, James Arnold Taylor.
James Arnold Taylor, D. Bradley Baker. They always switch over. But yeah, so I was going to go on the Sunday to meet those three, and now they've just made Ezra Friday and Saturday only. Ironically, I changed the Saturday off work to get the other days off in the week. So I may meet him. I don't know yet. It's going to be very tight, I think is a good way of saying it. Yeah,
if I get enough money together, I will go so that I can meet Jim Cummings and James Arnold Taylor, because I need those two. But I need those two for the collection. Has to
Definitely.
Be. But Dave, when are you going to come to the con? When are you going to meet people?
I know it's crazy. There's a couple of cons there around me up in Newcastle. They normally have a con there, and I'm
surprised you're not going to the Star Wars Fan Fun Day on May 5th in Manchester.
No, there's not in Burnley.
That's in Manchester, mate.
Yeah, I'm still kind of out from everything. It's sort of even Manchester's like 3 hours away from me. To kind of get, I'm out in the northeast, and it's of the UK, and it's sometimes tough to kind of get any further down the country and planning around these things. But I will get another con. I think there's I'll definitely get some at some point. It's just planning sometimes doesn't work that well for me.
Maybe we'll do October, and we'll do a show with all three of us in the same location. You never know, that could possibly happen. We've only been doing this podcast for over a year, and we've only seen each other a few times in between that. In fact, George, have you actually seen Dave since con? Since celebration?
No, literally apart from over a camera.
Yeah, because I saw you for Force Friday last year, and I've seen you several times coming up to Brum for X-Wing tournaments. So I've been the one kind of keeping the three going, but it's Dave, get down here. But that's it for this evening. It's one of those things. We knew it was going to be a short show. We moved it specifically because of George and Absent, as I've been calling him recently, so that he came on the show. And luckily,
I rewarded you with Resistance news.
You did. I was about to say you rewarded us with brand new news.
It was a win. It's definitely a win.
Let's just hope that when the next episode rolls around, we don't miss it by a day.
This is very true. This is very true. However, for now we've done well. In fact, next time though we'll have all the news from May 4th. We will be one step closer to Solo. We'll probably announce our Solo preview video because we will be doing one like we did for Rogue One and Episode 8. We will do something. We haven't confirmed between the three of us times and dates yet, but we'll be working on that. I think that's about it. I think literally that is it for this evening. I don't know if you guys have anything to add.
No, but just really big thank you again. As we're getting on, we're getting a few more subscribers, more people joining us on our Facebook page and our Instagram. So really just thank you guys for becoming part of it, and just to keep liking and subscribing as you go.
Definitely. We're far more active on there than we were the last couple of months, and we've noticed it dramatically. So if there's news like Resistance early, we'll have it on Facebook straight away for you all. So follow us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're active on there. And if you listen to us on MP3, we're on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, then we're on MP3 under iTunes on one of the Force of Star Wars podcast.
Yep, same for SoundCloud as well.
Yeah.
So you're not even limited to iTunes. We have your back on Android as well. So you can carry us in your pocket wherever you go, if you so please. If not, you can join us every other week. We will be back, same time, same place, in 2 weeks' time. Except we will be back on the Wednesday. Hopefully everything goes well, George. You never know, I might be absent for once. Nah, we'll be back. But I think that's it. So we've been Ones of the Force. May the Force be with you. Good night.